Hi, Carol here, and welcome to my craft room. Here's a card that I made yesterday from the set, the Peony set from Penny Black. It's just beautiful, and I did a monochromatic to color technique, and the saying says, "The richness I achieve comes from nature, the source of my inspiration from Monet." And here is the set from Penny Black with the Peony set. It is gorgeous. So I did that yesterday and I went to upload it, but my camera would not focus on that card properly. So when I was doing the coloring, it would not show you. So I started over using a different one. We're going to use my favorite things. I've sped the video up. It's an A2 size card, and you're going to need a cover for that as well. And I picked out a Michael's Hero Arts wooden stamp that has the sewing, the needle sewing thing, and some buttons. It's a really nice stamp, and it'll give us a nice effect because on the top corner you'll get the buttons, and on the bottom you'll get the actual pin cushion. So here I'm showing you what we're going to need. And the black piece here that I cut out of the 140-pound cardstock, I did in a rectangle instead of a square this time for a different effect. So you set down your die and you cut around the outside. That'll give you a 1/16 of an inch layering ability once you cut the white out. So when you put the white over top of that black, you'll have a 1/16 of an inch layer. So there's the nice stamp. Pin cushion. It's really pretty. I'm going to stamp one up here in the left corner so that you can see that button area, and one down so that you get the pin cushion when we start to color. And I'm using the blender pens here. There's so many different kinds that I'm showing you. And then we're going to use the Julian nutting pencils. They are beautiful. They're not like, if you use your colorless blender, it's like using your Prisma pencils with your Gamsol. So here we go. I'm taking my favorite things, hybrid ink, and I'm stamping it. And see the little, sometimes you press too hard, and inside the buttons I got some black ink. So just take your blender pen and take it out. And that way you can add more color to your stamped image. So I stamped it again. I'm wiping it down. And no need to worry, the ink comes right off. So I decided to start in the lower right corner, and I'm going to heat set it with clear embossing powder, so I have it ready, and it has a beautiful image. And the only difference I find that with the Julian Nutting pencil crayons is they get a little bit of chaff when you're coloring. So you have to be careful not to wipe your project because there's little bits of the actual crayon that ends up coming off that you don't get with Prisma, but you do get a beautiful vibrant color. And with the blender pens, they go on beautifully. So here I'm stamping the top part, and when you take a stamp like butterflies, flowers, whatever, you realize that the top and the bottom, when you cut it out, you want to get two different effects to color. So here I'm going with the browns and the oranges to do the inside of the pin cushion right here. So I'll zoom in. This is where it went wrong yesterday. My camera would not focus in so I could show you, and I had to take that video down. And now it seems to be focusing okay. There's all of the colors you get in the complete set. Put them in a nice glass container, and it pretties up your craft room. So here I am taking, see how I applied just so little color, yet it spreads like you have a lot. So I'm going to take it and use it on the top so I can clean out my brush just by using it. And I'm going to put some deep orange inside, same as down there. Just keep applying it. The blender pen is so nice. It'll just move that color all over your page. I think you really like using those pencil crayons. And like I said, the difference is that they chaff a little bit when you're coloring with them. So you have to be careful not to wipe your project on the cardstock. I think that's why I don't do so many clean and simple cards, because you know, anything you touch, you leave it on your card. So here I am applying, I'm taking out some of the color so that I have some dark to light. See, there you go. You have to be careful not to do that. If there's any type of color left on there. Okay, so here I am using another deeper orange color. So just to get some texture and some shadow. So I'm going around there. And I took out my, while I'm coloring here, my Stampin' Up! Clear buttons. And the beauty of that, we're going to use Copics. And you can color with your Copics and heat emboss the color onto your buttons or your, you know, acrylic buttons. I'll show you that at the end. So here I want to mix up the colors on the buttons. So I'm doing some kind of an old olive type color of the green, and doing some blues, some pinks, just for different colored buttons, because I will color the buttons I'm putting on there with my Copics, and I will heat set them to hold the color in. So next I'm going to show you how I place the buttons. I did take out 5, but I only ended up putting on 4. Let's see, or I'm sorry, I put on 3. You want to put on odd numbers. So here I have my sentiment, and I'm going to have to cut this off. It says, sorry for your loss. So I am going to take the sorry and just snip it off right there, a little bit of stamp surgery. And I'm going to put the sorry on top of for your loss, and then I'm going to use the sticker letters and put sew, S-E-W, because we're working with the pin cushion and buttons. Little play on words. So I've got sorry for your loss there, and then I'm going to put, I'm sorry, for your loss is at the bottom. Here's the sorry. And then we will stamp that out. Now I was going to do it in black, but I changed my mind, and I took a really nice orange color Stampin' Up! Ink. And it's kind of like a deep marmalade. I don't have the color with me, but I will post it on my blog. So here I'm using the grid on my Fiskars stamp press so I can get a nice straight stamp. And when you turn it over, you can always position it with your finger, just pushing it up across the line so you get a straight, there I'm just looking at it. Just take your fingernail and move it where you need to on the grid so it's perfectly straight. And then hold your breath and see whether it stamps out nicely or not. And the Stampin' Up! Ink color was just perfect for these pencil crayons that I'm using, the Julia Netting pencils. So here I am going to put the Stampin' Up! Ink on the, there it is, see it? And on the stamp press, and yeah, so you can shift this around. That's why I like this positioner. And don't press down too hard, so you just a little touch there, and hold it so the ink transfers onto the paper, because it's a nice thick, it's Nina Solar White. And look at that, I couldn't believe it. Talk about being excited. Oh yeah, doing the happy dance there. It's actually straight. Yes, really excited. So then I grabbed my clear embossing powder there, and I heat set it so that I would not in any way get anything, move that ink on that piece of paper. So I heat set that, and now I'm going to put the letters on, S-E-W, so with my glitter black letter set. And now the W is going to go down. And I'm just making sure they are, there you go. Isn't that nice? It's just a pretty inside. And then you have the monochromatic piece that's coming up right there, and you have the center piece that's going to go in, and all I'm going to do now is take the black piece, make sure, no, I'm going to put some foam tape first to raise it up all the way around the edges, and you're also going to put it on the black piece that you tape inside there. I'm sorry, on the outside, the black layering piece. So I'm getting all of the foam tape down to raise it up. I put some fuse on the outside of this black piece, and I'm making sure that it is straight to put the color on there, and it is really, really pretty. So now I'm going to put another piece of foam tape in the center, and then I'm going to apply this piece onto my card. There you go. I'm just going to tap it so it is flush to the A2 card, Nina cardstock in the back. Take the backing off, and I'm going to apply that on there. And oh yes, take your sleeve. And I'm paranoid with these clean and yeah, just straighten yourself out there so nobody knows. Yeah, thumbs up, and then take your piece, and I'm going to put fuse on this to hold it because you don't want anything happening to it there. And I'm always checking to make sure nothing goes near my white cardstock. The clean and simple cards, you have to be on guard for anything coming near it. So there you go, you're going to put it on. So it is a 1/16 of an inch black edge, and you have your monochromatic on the outside, and you have your beautiful color on the inside. And it comes together, just be, oh yeah, take your sleeve, yeah, and pat it down. Couldn't find my paper towels, and that's the next best thing. So now I want to use this set that I have, and it has sewing on it, all different types of sewing stitches. So I took one that I liked, and I'm going to put it on the Fiskars stamp press, and I'm going to take out my Tim Holtz markers, my distress markers, and I'm going to put this on using the exact colors that I used in the actual coloring. So I used the marmalade, I used the sky blue there, and I used a brown, 4 different colors. And I end up going in and putting the ink on this stitched stamp. And because when I looked at the card on the right side, it seemed to have a little bit more white than the left side when I put the black piece down. So all I did to remedy that is take a stitch stamp, and I'm going to put it on the right side going down, and distress ink is beautiful to do this technique with. And then I'm just adding a little bit more on the bottom, and they don't contaminate, which is really nice with these inks. So I am finishing it up, and we are going to place it on the right side of the card. And then I thought, okay, there was a little bit more white on the bottom there. I thought would look really nice, so I did the exact same thing on the bottom. Here I'm trying to figure out, okay, where do I do it? Oh yeah, I'm panicking here on this white card, making sure nothing happens to it. So I'm stamping that out. It's a really nice stitch. That set is a beautiful set. I'll leave the name of it on my blog, so you will, in case you're interested in getting it. It has every kind of stitch you would use on your sewing machine. And yes, stamp it, and then I just want to press the bottom. It didn't seem to get inked, so I'll just pull it down right there and use some of the top part, put it on. Isn't that pretty? And it ties in all the colors. So you have one section of your card edges that has monochromatic, nothing on it. Actually, it's nothing. And it's not monochromatic, it's nothing. And then you have the color. So it's really pretty. So I'm just going to take you through, and we will color this out the same way I did the other ones. And it turned out to be a beautiful card. And this is the thing about And then you can take it and stamp something on the inside as well, which I'll probably do. And I'm going to do a matching envelope, and I'll post a picture on my blog when they're all finished. So I'm just taking the I only need, yep, 4 colors and adding a little bit here and there. And because I don't know exactly where I'm going to stamp this on the card yet until I lay it down, there we go. Look at that. I'm always checking for cleanliness on these clean and simple cards. So I turn it around, yeah. There we go. Am I going to do it on this side, on the top? Yes. Love this Viscar stamp press. It's really good for situations like that because you can get right to the edge. Then we're going to move on to the clear buttons, and they are really cute. And I take some twine when I get to that stage, and I put it through the holes of the buttons to match the colors in the stitches. So I took some, here's the buttons, the Stampin' Up! Buttons, and they're tiny, really delicate buttons, which are nice. So I grab my pokey tool and my glue gun, and I'm going to pick out the ones that I want. I started with 5, but I ended up, like I said, with 3. You want to go odd numbers there. And then I grabbed some twine out of my stash, and I matched all the colors. So I had orange, blue, pink, brown, and clear. There they are. I made this little thing out of the spa mist plastic I had from buying something, and I punched holes in it and put all of my twine, and then I ran my twine through the holes. See how easy that is? And now I'm taking some brown, and all of my spools are inside this container that I was going to throw out, and I just ran the twine through all of the holes everywhere. Keeps it nice and clean, and you can just pull it to get as much as you want. So there I have all the colors, and this, now I'm fighting to get this in the holes, literally. Trying to pull that twine, it must have taken me 10 minutes to get that through. But I finally did, and then I put a little bit of the glue from my heat gun on here, just a tad, because it will hold your twine on the button so you can tie it in a knot, right? So you have all the movement you can. Then it hit me, why aren't I using my 2 threaders that I had right beside me in a container? So after I tied this in a knot right here, this is the clear twine. It is like a cream color, and I thought, I am not going to sit here and try poking that through with my pokey tool. There, I got it in a knot. And make sure you get really sharp scissors. I have the Martha Stewart scissors for cutting material and my twine. So designated scissors, and this is nice. It just cuts it right off, just like butter. There we go. And so when I grab the next one, I go and get my floss threader package, and I'm just looking at it and thinking, do I want 5 buttons? And then I thought, no, there it is, your floss threader. And this took me 2 seconds to pull the twine through the buttonholes, because these are small buttons. So you just put it through like that, and you can do, because it bends, you can put that right through your buttonholes with ease. So instead of taking 10 minutes, it took me 2 seconds. There, and just hold it, and you're not fighting to get it in there. You just bend that, turn it around, bend the floss threader. Oh, this one I had to reset. Okay, well, it's taking me a little bit, but not as much as it did the last one. Which side do I want to do? Trying to figure it out there. So rethread the floss threader and pull it through, and it was easy peasy. Trust me, from the first time I did it with my pokey tool there. So I'm pulling it. See how you can bend that floss threader to put it in, so you don't have to have a long piece of wasted twine. There we are. And then take it out. Then put your glue on there. Yes, thumbs up. Phew. Now make them even. Grab each side so that it's even. Put some glue on the project. I want to put one there. And so I can tie it nicely, I'm just going to put it on there and it'll grab a hold of the button and the twine, which is awesome. There we go. Now I'll be able to tie it in a knot. But on this one, I didn't have enough of the end to tie in a knot. So what I did was I tied it once, added a little bit of my glue from the glue gun on top of the single tie knot, which is awesome. And then you don't have to worry about doing it twice, just in case you have only a little bit. See how I do that? I just set a tiny tad on the top there, and it will hold that single tie. There we go. And you can just pat it down, just like that, really quick, and then cut the ends off. Now, because they're clear buttons, I took my Copics and I colored them to match the buttons that are on the top portion. So I colored this one fully in blue, and then right here I'm just taking a little piece of the glue off so it's nice and clean. And then you're going to just take your Copic. I'm not sure what color I chose here, and I'm going to put it on the actual button here because it's clear. There we go. And then just heat set it with some clear embossing powder like I'm going to do in a second here. And the color will stay on it. And you needn't worry about rubbing it off or getting it on your card. Just a little FYI for you. Now I am looking to put some clear embossing powder on the actual button that I put the Copic color on. There we go. Tap it off. One of my buttons fell in there. It must have stuck to the card. There we go. And you are all set there. Just going to add a little bit more. When I tapped it, some of it came off. There you are. So I will heat set that, and we will move on to the next colored. And the next one is a nice heart button that I put on the right side up there. So I heat set that, the clear embossing powder over the Copic color on the clear button. So here I am taking the final button and I'm going to run some thread through it. I'm getting better at it here, and this is the orange, actually it's twine, and I'm just hanging on to it and bringing it through. And then I'm going to show you how simple the end, isn't it something how the first of anything you seem to struggle with, and then you finally get it with the last button. That's why I only went with 3 instead of 5. And look at that, came through with ease thanks to that little floss threader. So hang on to it, decide where you're going to put your little button there, and I thought, right there. So put a little bit of your hot glue, and you end up with a really nice card. And this will hold down your twine so you can tie that little knot. And it's just one tie because I put some glue over top of it with the hot glue gun. And you can see in real time here that it took just 15 seconds of time. There we go. So put a little bit of glue on the top to hold it so you don't have to do a knot. And pat it down. Take out any stray and you'll be all set. cut it off. Whoa, get a hold of it there, Carol. There we go. Easy peasy. And on this one, on the heart, I decided to do the orange Copic marker with just around the edges. I did not do the whole button. I wanted you to see the clear button. So, whoop, wrong end. I don't know what color that was. I did that so fast. And I went around the outside. Then I put some embossing powder. And then I thought, you know what? This is such a nice orange. I added some shadows in the pin cushion while I was right there over top of the pencil crayons, the Julia Nutting pencils, and I really recommend them. Other than the fact that they're not, they chaff on your card. You have to be careful not to press too hard. But as far as brilliant color, it is beautiful. And then the colorless blender just adds to the mix right here. So I'm going to take some embossing powder, emboss that little button, and I have myself a beautiful card in just half an hour. I did two 60-minute videos and I edited them down to this 27-minute video, but still it was a wonderful afternoon. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to show you, I'm just taking off some of the excess. I'm going to show you what this ended up looking like, and I will see you on the next video. Hope you give this technique a try, the monochromatic to color. There you have it. I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful way to showcase a clean and simple card. So there's the one I did today, and there's the beautiful peony one I did yesterday. Have a blessed evening.